Hello, this is day one of our drone building series. Specifically, we're building race drones, and this is the crash version of my previous version. uh, so I'll be using this as a reference, but we'll be building another one um, as we go. Um, so just kind of talk about what we're gonna do today. Um, we're going to wire the ESC, and we're going to connect those wires into our motors. We have 4 motors with the broken one down here. We're also going to wire up the connection to our battery. In this case, it uses XT60 connectors. And we also need to connect the BEC, and this is to power the flight controller. And I think that would do it for today. We'll see where we end up at. So do you guys have the stand assembled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold up. For that stand, I'm only seeing one washer. Should that go on the top or on the bottom?
I don't think it matters too much. You can put it on the bottom.
On the bottom. Can I put it on the top?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not gonna make a significant difference for at least for this purpose.
Does it need to be tight? Like very tight?
Get it as tight as you can, otherwise it's gonna be like swiveling, and it's just going to be annoying. But I don't know if you have the tools for it.
Yeah, there's a tool that lets you tighten it. It's like the little hex screw.
Nice. Yeah, as soon as you plug it in, it's going to start heating up. So just keep an eye on that. So I guess the first thing we could do is, let's see, hopefully something easy. So you see these, the ESC, it has 2 big wires, the red and the black. These others wires, they're smaller, and they go to the motors.
Can you explain what this is?
Yeah, it's the electronics speed controller. So this communicates with the flight controller, and based on your controller inputs, it tells like which motor, how much spin. Like, oh, now he's turning right, so you got to adjust the motor speeds in order to achieve that. So we have, do you guys have a bunch of these? A bag with a bunch of these, right?
Yeah.
What's that called?
So these are the XT60 connectors, and that's the one on your battery. I think you have.
It comes in this bag.
Yeah.
It's like a silver bag.
That silver bag.
So you guys have a battery. So what you want to do is either pick the one that has the pins inside, because is the one that matches up to the battery. The battery comes with a connector already installed, and once it's wired up, we're going to just connect it like that.
I see the thing that's connected to the battery, but I don't see the actual connector pieces.
With your battery or with the bag?
No, see the connectors with the battery, like what you said, right? But I don't see any extra connectors.
Oh no, it comes in a different bag.
It's in a gray bag that says Link C10 pairs. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch in there.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I mean, just get one from there.
Yeah, so it has to be a specific one. You can't be just any other. So, I mean, there's only 2 types, so you have to pick the right type. The way I find it easy for now is just get the one that matches into the battery, because if you have 2 of the same connectors, they're not going to connect. Because this one has holes, right? And then
Yeah.
this has the pins. So you want this one.
Oh yeah, I see. There's 2 different ones in here. Okay.
So what we're going to be doing is on the other end, on the end that has the pins extruding or sticking out, we're going to want to fill in into these holes if it decides to, I guess not. But we're going to be sticking a bunch of soldering into there, a bunch of solder, and then we're going to connect these 2 wires to here. And then it's marked positive and negative. So the positive would go to the red wire and the negative would go to the black one. And that's where this comes in, because this helps you hold this in place. Something like that, I guess.
So the connector that fits into the battery is a good one, or is the one we want to use?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing 2 types in here. I'm only
If
seeing
you dump enough of them out, you'll see the different one. It has like a, what is it, like an indent in it or something. I don't know if this will show up, but it's like,
Yeah. Thanks,
Oh,
Alan.
I see it. I see it.
and then the other ends are the same.
So they all say the same number, which is sucks.
Yeah, that's they're gonna have the same number because they're the same connector type. But one's I think one's a male, the other one's a female. I'm not sure which is which, just because it's this one protrudes, but it has, yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
Oh,
I should take some classes on this. And you're gonna want the ones with the pins, right?
Yeah.
So just clip that onto your stand like that. I think they're called helping hands. So the first thing to do is to shove a bunch of the solder into there. So you're gonna want to melt it. In order to melt it, you have to heat this up, right? So if you plug it in, you might see some light. Oh, actually, I think I'm using a different one, but they're the same.
oh, one question. Whatever you soldering in the red and black wire, right?
Yeah, from the ESC.
Yeah. We're soldering it in on the top, right? On the
Gold connectors that stick out.
gold connectors that stick out. That's good. And where do we get the solder? Oh, is it the solder?
That's-
This thing?
It wouldn't be the solder wick. I think it's maybe,
Oh, hold on.
is it inside a tube?
Oh, that's what I was thinking. The spring?
Because solder wick isn't used to solder, it's used to clean off like the residue and all that.
Yeah. So I just mess up my screen. But yeah, so this is solder. You could use this. This is a different one. I don't know if you guys got this one, but
No.
it kind of
No.
comes in a roll. Okay, so I guess we could use this one.
Okay.
I'll use it also just to be consistent.
And we're supposed. Okay. The goal is just to get it stuck. I mean,
I gotta
Sorry.
turn my solder on.
Okay, so I guess the first thing is heat up your iron, right? Once it's heat, you could adjust the temperature right here in this knob.
Is there a certain temperature we need to have it at?
Maybe let's try like 300 or 350.
All right.
what about safety?
Don't burn yourself. I mean, ideally, right? This whole thing is hot, so be careful. Just to show you how hot it is, like it could melt right through this. So you see that hole. Also, as we're dealing with this, it depending on which solder type this is, this one doesn't say, but some of these, as you melt it, they produce like toxic fumes. So I have my window open and the fan going. So if you could open the window or use that extractor, that would be nice.
Yeah, I have the extractor set up.
It's so noisy. Can you hear that?
A little bit.
Shit. Okay.
I'll try and get my mic as far away from that.
So what I'm doing is I'm placing the tip on one of these pins that's sticking out, and I'm letting it sit there in order to heat up the gold piece, right? I want that to be hot because as soon as it's hot, I could just stick the solder into there and it's just going to melt. It's going to create a pool.
Inside that pool, we just stick the red and black in there.
Yeah, but that's going to be the next step. Let's do this step one at a time. So let's fill in one of these and then go ahead and heat up the other one and then fill that one in. Because once it has the solder in there, then we could go ahead and heat it up again and then individually place in each wire.
Do we cut the solder? How much solder do we cut?
I just like using. You could cut a maybe 4 or 5 inches piece if you want, but I just like holding it in my hand and then you know, because it's going to start melting, and as it melts, your piece is going to get shorter, right?
Yeah.
The left one, or doesn't matter which one's red and which one's black?
Yeah.
Let's start with the solid side or the rectangular side instead of the curved, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I see. So the rectangular side is this, and then it has like a pyramid thing on the other one. So I'm actually having some trouble melting this. So I'm going to increase the temperature to like 400.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh, there we go.
So, okay, I'm going to wait. This is, why don't you go ahead and I'll just see how you do it and then. Oh.
Okay, so I'm heating up with the iron, I'm touching the one closest. Oh, so it looks like we have to do this pretty fast because so I heat up this rod, right?
Yeah.
And now the rod is so hot that it's melting. It's melting the plastic within this connector. So maybe reduce the temperature back to 350. Okay, but anyways, you hit this up. The other way you could do it is directly melt the solder onto the tip as at the same time that you put it inside here. You see some of the smoke going?
That's what I was doing, and it seems to work pretty well to just melt it at the same time. It gets stuck to the tip of the solder a little bit, but you can just push it into the hole.
So that hole, that's where we're supposed to put all the solder in?
Yeah, in the hole.
Okay. Why do we need to heat up the brass thing?
So you're pretty much trying to get this metal to melt and bond with that with the brass piece, right?
Yeah.
So that would be the first step. Once we get that, then we could go ahead and focus on just putting the wire into there.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna do the second hole. Now that I got this one filled, I'm gonna fill up the other hole.
Wait, isn't it still like hot? Don't you have to mess with the wires first? Like, do it quick?
This thing solidifies pretty fast, like within a few seconds. But even though it's solidified, yes, it's still hot. So like, don't be touching this, right?
But what about the wire? If it solidifies fast, don't we have to put the wire?
Yeah. So let me fill this one first before I move on to the wires. Don't mess with the wires for now.
This thing is like super hot now.
Is your yellow piece starting to melt?
It's not melting, but it's hot. And how full should each of the holes be? Should it just be like completely solid full of the metal so that when you heat it up again, it's like pushing out as you put the wire in?
Yeah, try to fill it up as much you can. It's just gonna help. If you have too little, it's gonna be hard to get the wire attached.
All right. I think one of them is good. I'm gonna put a little more in the second hole.
So you see, as it starts melting, I just keep feeding it, and I think that one's good.
All right, I think I'm good on the solder.
All right, do you want to show yours? Okay, so you could kind of see mine right there, right? You can see the solder easily. What we're gonna do? Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, it's in there.
So we just go get the second one to the same point.
Yeah, I got that. It's pretty easy. I don't know why I was scared.
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of fills up to the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we do next?
Okay, so you guys should have these in. Oh, that might be too small. Okay, so in your soldering package, oh wait, do you guys have lighters? Otherwise, we might try a different route.
I have a lighter.
I don't have a lighter. Yeah, this is hot. We have this thing, by the way, long stuff in the connector package.
Oh yeah, so I don't know if that's gonna be too big.
We can cut it.
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and try this out. Otherwise, if this doesn't work, we could do we could just use electrical tape. So maybe cut like an inch piece or 2-inch piece, something like that.
Why don't we just use the other ones then? The one that's inside the solder kit.
I'm thinking those might be too small. Let's find out.
There's like super small ones and then larger fold ones. It needs to fit in the red and the black wire, right? On this piece.
Yeah, it needs to fit in each individual wire and also have room for these 2 wires in addition. So you're gonna have 2 red wires sticking out like that. Oh yeah, I think this one would do.
The small one? Or is it the medium sized one or the big flat one?
Not the big flat one. It's gonna be the small ones. Not the tiny ones, but the small ones.
So the medium sized one.
So I'm going from biggest to smallest size.
I think there's 4 sizes. There's ones that are really small,
Yeah.
one a step up from that, then a larger one, and then the ones that are bent.
So you're gonna want to use the second to smallest.
Okay. I mean,
And
try and pull one out.
yeah, I made a mess over here. Just trying to pull them out.
Does it cover like this much right here? I don't know.
What was your question?
What's the width? Does it slide easily? Or it doesn't?
So you should be able to fit the red wire of the BEC and the BEC and the red wire of the ESC into the same heat shrink tube. It's called heat shrink because as you heat it up, it'll shrink. Yeah.
Oh, so we need the both of those wires. Oh, hold on.
What's the BEC?
Battery eliminator circuit. So it's called that just because it pretty much eliminates the need for an external battery. The flight controller uses a lower voltage than the motors, so that's why you have this, which converts it pretty much drops the voltage down and outputs 5 volts, which is what the flight controller needs.
Okay, the small one. That's what I was thinking. So
This piece?
there are 2 wires.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the open wire. I'm assuming.
What was that? Sorry.
Should it fit side by side or just together?
Yeah, so just line up both wires and then you should be able to fit them in there.
Yeah.
And it slides pretty easily.
Oh, for both of them?
Yeah.
In the same place? Oh, and this is what we solder into it?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like this?
Yeah,
Okay.
that looks good. So going back to this, that rectangular side is the positive side. You can tell because they have the plus right there.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to believe me on that one. The camera's acting up. But likewise, the other side has a negative. So first, go ahead and connect. We'll just join the wires like that, and then do the same with the negative cables.
This is rocket science.
So what we're gonna do is maybe one at a time. I think that would be easier. So solder one into here with the iron, right? And then once that one's in there, we're gonna go ahead and try to get the second one in there without letting the first one come out. It might be a little bit tricky.
Oh, okay. I see.
Right,
And
and-
you're saying it's the black one goes negative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why can't you just twist them together, put them together at once?
Yeah, we could do that. Do you guys have wire stripping tools
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or clippers?
Oh, we should add more. Okay. So you're saying clip the wires and then twist them and then add it?
Yeah, so if you want to do it that way, we could twist them first, and then as they're twisted, insert it, so it'll be easy. I think that'll be a lot easier, right?
Oh gosh, dang it. I clipped it all the way. Shit. Okay.
Oh man, I think this thing is starting to smell. So we're gonna try Armand's suggestion. So I'm using these to strip. I have wire strippers, but I mean, just in case people don't, you could use wire cutters. Just kind of like bite onto the wire, but don't don't close it all the way. Don't cut it. You just want to like cut enough that the clippers get into the outer coating,
Yeah.
and then just pull outward and hope it works. So it worked for me.
Can I twist mine? Yeah, I twisted mine together. Can the red stuff touch the solder?
Yeah.
Okay.
So ideally you want this red stuff over the solder at the end, because the purpose of this is to cover the exposed electrical components, right? If we mess up, we could just use the electrical tape, so don't worry.
I'm trying to get the coating off of the wires. It's a little difficult with the wire, or like
Make-
without the wire stripper.
Make sure you don't actually hold the wire cutter all the way down like I did and cut off the actual wire.
I already did that. I was trying not to, but I did.
So I was able to twist mine, and that looks pretty good. This should just be able to go straight in.
All right, I got it twisted for one wire. Let me cut the other one now.
All right. Just let me know when you guys are there.
All right.
Yeah, I got it. I'm there.
All right.
Give me another like 30 seconds.
Can the solder overflow? Is that fine in the connector?
Can you repeat that?
Uh, can the solder overflow inside the connector?
Yeah. Uh, maybe not too much, but yeah, you can have some.
Okay. Did you cut yours off? Oh,
I'm doing the same method. So we can suffer together.
This is a lot harder than it looks.
I'm just enjoying in the background.
during that misery.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. I mean, just the amount of innuendo jokes you guys could make about all the things. It's just been hilarious. So.
Okay.
Okay, so it turns out the heat shrink might not work. I just tried a piece on here and it didn't stick. We might have to use the tape method, using the electrical tape instead of these.
Wait, the covers you mean?
Yeah, these.
Wait, they're supposed to cover it stuff?
Yeah, so here, let me give you an example. So once it's finished, that's going to be connected right there, right?
Yeah.
And we want this to cover that. But
Oh,
the piece I tried sticking onto here didn't stick onto this piece.
that's fine. I think we can go ahead and stick with this. And whatever it doesn't cover, we'll just put the electrical tape.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
All right, my wires are good to solder. So took a second.
Goes on the red goes on the plus side.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cut these in half because I think it might be too long. But you should be fine if you leave it on there. Full size.
All right.
So once your wires are twisted, make sure the heat shrink is on there. On each couple of wires.
So we soldered first, and then we put the heat sink on it, or we slide the heat sink down.
Yeah, slide the heat sink down first. You want it to maybe get like an inch away. That should be fine.
All right.
So what we're gonna do is you're gonna grab your resin, your rosin paste flex, your soldering paste flex. What this does, it's has like some chemical that the solder likes sticking to. So this pretty much helps you solder. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stick these two into here.
All right.
Just so that they get a like a small amount of solder on there. And once we have that, we're going to use this other side of our helping hands. We're going to clip them like that. So with this, then you can go ahead and use your soldering iron again. and just attach some of the solder onto here. This step is just so that these wires don't become untwisted, because if they become untwisted, we're going to have problems powering our drone at a later point.
Oh, so we're adding more solder to the wires themselves?
Yeah,
How much solder?
just a light coat, at least on two sides. Or it could just melt straight onto there. Now that we put the rosin flex.
I only did a little bit. How much are we supposed to do?
Just take a look at it. I mean,
I just did it so that you could see like a blob of the metal on the tip of the wire.
you're gonna want to see it around it. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I don't.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
We don't touch the solder anymore, right?
What do you mean?
Like we already put the blob on it, and now we just attach the two blobs.
Yeah, so you have
Yeah.
these covered in solder, so they're not untwisting. And yeah, now you're ready to stick it back in to the, or I guess initially we haven't, these were never in there, but ideally they're going to be on there. So you get the red one, and then you're going to, that one goes on the one that says positive. There's a plus side right here.
Yeah.
So what you do is you heat up that solder and then stick that in there and remove the soldering iron. So that way it cools with that inside.
Oh. Yeah, reminder, don't touch the metal part.
Yeah. All right, so I got one side in. I'm moving on to the next one.
My thing's not melting.
Try increasing the temperature on your iron,
Oh wait, it's good, it's good.
or try a different spot on the soldering iron. Sometimes it can build up like a cold spot.
This is, I'm trying to get the second wire on. I got the first one on.
Mine's just sideways. Is that fine?
Oh man, I guess it could be. As long as it doesn't touch the other wire, right? That's going to give us major problems.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and this thing keeps moving for some reason.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem right now. Come on. Oh, there we go. I think I got it.
think I got it.
So you should have something like that. 2 red wires going into that positive side. Oh, you can finally see it. And then 2 black wires going into the negative side.
Mine looks so weird, but I mean, it works, right?
Yeah.
I got it.
Now we wait for it to cool down, and then
Yeah.
we tape on it.
So maybe blow on it if you want to help speed it up. And you're gonna want to push up that heat shrink as much as possible. So in my case, my heat shrink, from the negative side was too close to the soldering iron, so it actually got hot and now it shrunk a little bit. So that's as far as it's going. So I'm gonna have to put some tape on down.
Is it okay if it's like this?
Yeah, it'll do.
Or if you have to remove this?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
I mean, this is just connected to the battery, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, mine, the heat shrink did the same thing. I'm gonna have to tape.
Yeah. Oh. So don't do what I just did and just plug it in willy-nilly. I was just testing it out, but heard some sparks, so be careful. Okay, so with the tape is you're just going to, well, I guess we should use the lighter and shrink this as much as we can. Don't stay on there on one spot for too long. It will start burning.
Okay, I might be getting a lighter, but is a lighter necessary?
No, I mean you could use it like your stove or something. Or you could leave it on there just like that. I mean, it's pretty tight already. I feel like this heat shrink was designed for these 2 strings. I mean, these 2 wires.
I don't want to.
So I'm going to grab a piece of this wire and then just wrap it around that metal part. So you don't want any metal parts exposed, ideally.
Is it okay to, or should we separate them, like put tape in between the two so they don't connect on accident? I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you could do that. What I'm doing is putting tape over each individually. That way they don't have a
Oh yeah,
chance.
that's what I was thinking.
How did you cut the electrical tape?
Use the clippers.
If you want to remove this, like the BC or the wires from the connector, can we do that? Or do you have to buy a new one?
We could do that. I mean, at a later point if we have to.
You would just heat it up enough to where it like melts away again.
My thing looks so ugly.
Yeah. Same here.
You kidding me, Jesus? His probably looks way better than mine's.
Hey, no one said electricians were artists, you know?
What the heck? Ah, shit.
You haven't seen server rooms.
Oh,
Those
actually, yeah.
Those cables are a beauty.
I got recommended a video of someone fixing their business's server, and
Yeah.
the wires were disgusting, and he made it look nice. I
Yeah.
don't think they paid him overtime, though. They should have.
So you're gonna want something like that. So like as little as the metal as exposed as possible. So
All
right
right.
here, there's no way that they could touch. So I'm safe on this side. Because if you get the positive and the negative touching, you're gonna have a lot of sparks. Maybe even a fire.
I tried to peel the electrical tape. Instead, my finger slipped and my nail like cut into my skin.
Oh man. Yeah, be careful with this. These are sharp.
No, it was my nail.
Oh man. Yeah, so here, maybe take a look at what I do, Armand. So I just do one cut like that.
Let's peel it. To peel the electrical.
Oh, just peel it off?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not not so great. I prefer a pseudo peel -h.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we should maybe cut the video at this point so we don't go too long.
All right.
We can start another one at a even just right after or at a later point.
That's fine.
All right. Yeah. So I'll end the video. That's going to be the end of part 1 of
Yep.
building this.
Stay tuned for more.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
All right, so this is part 2 of drone building, race drone edition. And so what we did in the previous session was we connected our XT60 connector to our ESC and our VEC. So in this session, we're going to connect our ESC cables that go to the motor, and we're going to connect bullet connectors onto them like that. Because our motors that we have these banana connectors. So once we have each of these installed, they just connect like that. Okay, so going back, what we're gonna do is, once again, use your helping hands. So there's a tiny hole in each of these. These bullet connectors, these are the female ones. So there's a tiny hole in one of the sides. So
Yeah.
that hole signifies, or it means that on the short end is where you connect your cable, because on the long end, that's where the other connector goes. So you want to connect, so you want to place this on your helping hands with the hole sticking up.
The small hole?
Yeah, the
Okay.
small hole sticking up. And with that going, you could once again use your soldering iron. What I'm doing is I heat up the connector, and once it's hot, I'm going to go ahead and fill that, because there's a little cup in there. I'm going to fill that little cup with solder and stop once I see it full.
Okay.
So kind of the same thing that we did with the other connectors. You're gonna notice that these get full really quick. They're not as deep and wide as the connectors on our XT60 connector.
Okay, and then what do we do?
Oh,
After-
that was quick. Okay.
Yeah, that one, it just filled instantly.
So once you do that, then you put the solder down. You're gonna grab one of your cables. You don't have to cut any of the insulation off because it's at least the wires that we have in this case, they're gonna fit perfectly in there. You're gonna see. So I heat up once again the bullet connector, and as it gets hot, I'm gonna stick that metal piece in there.
Wait, do you heat up the connector or the solder inside?
The connector.
Oh, the connector will heat up the solder inside?
Yeah. And once it's hot and becomes liquidy, you place your wire in there and you remove the solder iron and hold it there until it cools. So hold it there for a few seconds.
Okay.
And you should be good. Once again, don't touch that because it's gonna be hot, right?
Yeah, don't touch that. You're gonna get burned.
Yeah.
I got burned like 5 times already.
It's the forbidden hot glue gun.
And these are what mine look like. They're a bit crooked, but they'll do.
Okay.
I got one of them done.
Nice.
Yeah, good.
So we're gonna do that for all 12 connectors.
All right.
So I'll go through the process one more time, I guess. This one doesn't have a hole, so I'm going to stick this in. Oh, okay. No, actually, I see the cup right there. Yeah, you should be able to easily tell the difference. Over here, there's the hole is deep enough that it looks dark, and over here you can see like right away the cup is still looks shiny. So I'm gonna stick that side up because that's our side where our connector goes. And once I find my solder, I will fill that cup up. Oh, here it is. Fell down. But yeah, it's the same thing. Heat up the bullet connector.
I kind of wish we did this first before everything else because it's kind of hard to lift the entire thing up.
Oh, yeah. I thought this would have been harder, but it turns out it's easier. Yeah, that was a mistake on my end.
Is it okay if it leaks outside the solder?
Yeah, you can clean that up afterwards or just leave it if it's small enough.
How are we supposed to clean it up?
With the solder iron, you just dab at the blob until it sticks to the, it either falls off or sticks to the iron.
How do we take off the iron?
There's these cleaners for the irons that we did not order. But you could also use a wet sponge, a kitchen sponge.
Oh, there's a mini one in here,
Oh, nice.
but it's not wet yet.
Yeah.
I got 3 of them done so far.
You're a fast rabbit.
Oh yeah, be careful with the wires. Even the wires are hot.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I was soldering with the laser cut, or I was doing some stuff with in the machine shop. It was pretty cool. Similar stuff. Working with like laser cutters and stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, but it was a lot bigger, right?
One of my holes is actually filled up. Connectors is already filled up. I think this is a misprint or something.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully it's solder. If it's not solder, then you might not be able to melt it. So yeah, just use another one.
You're right, the wires are hot.
Yeah. So at the end, what we're gonna do is just double check. We're gonna wait for it to cool down, everything to cool down, and we're going to, just tug on them, make sure that they're fully secured in there.
All right.
I just try to solder the wire without any solder, so make sure to not skip any steps.
That's bad. Otherwise, your house can blow up.
Whatever.
Also, a thing to watch out is where you're pointing the solder iron when you're grabbing for stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not using the stand. I put it in the stand every time.
No, I'm doing that, but like switching from the solder to the wire.
Okay. Yeah. Just be mindful. Even you could have it in the stand, but like if something is too close to it, it'll burn it right up.
Does it have to be straight?
Not completely straight, as long as it's not like 90 degrees, or something like that.
Yep. should me know any good React jokes?
Let me think of some. I'm actually working on some React Native right now, but not off the top of my head.
I thought you were the React guy, the React master.
React Buddha.
This is taking a long time.
Hey Solomon, did you finish?
I have 3 left.
I
Okay.
have 2 left.
Damn, I'm on. Cut up.
Oh shoot!
I was looking at this and I was thinking we need to wire up the camera, also the transmitter, and that would ideally be, we could probably do it right here on this end.
Do we have to?
So the camera uses, I think, 7 volts. So yeah, or at least minimum 7 volts. I think the one we got has a, what you call it, a wideband input voltage. I think like 7 volts to 24 or something like that. So that's why we need to power it straight off of the battery also. So it's either gonna be, yeah, here at this end of the ESC or over here where we did the 2 wires, but I feel like that's already packed. So I'd rather do it on this end. Oh, but that's really tight. I don't know. We'll find out right now.
You can tie in the helping hands, by the way.
Oh yeah. So that now that my thing is cool, I've been letting it sit for a minute or 2. I'm pulling on each wire and each connector, making sure they don't come apart. So far, so good.
You have your fan running, right, Solomon and Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh my god, this one came off. How hard do you have to tug? Just
Pretty. I mean, don't rip your fingers off or anything, but yeah, just give it a hard little tug.
Imagine you're playing Bop It, and the character is telling you to pull it repetitive.
Yeah.
Keep tugging.
I haven't seen that in years.
Oh yeah, one of mine was loose.
Yeah. Good catch.
Yeah, you don't have to tug it too hard. Like the one that was loose, it basically, as soon as I gave it the first tug, it just fell out. So if it's loose, it's just not gonna stick. All right, I had two that messed up, so let me redo those.
All right, and just to be like super safe that this actually worked, I pulled out a multimeter and I'm testing whether this is connected or not, and it looks like it's making good connection, so we're good.
All right.
Just because it feels a little bit loose. Once I connected the motor to the motor bullet connector to the ESC bullet connector, it feels a bit jiggly, but I guess it works.
Can you tell us where's the multimeter, or where do you put the multimeter?
Yeah, so if you have one,
I'm not. Did you order one? No,
I don't think we did.
no.
I think I have one here, but it's gonna take me time to find.
So I changed it to this setting. It has like a little sound thing and the ohm sign. The ohm sign and the sound thing, and then that I forgot what that's called. But anyways, with that, when you touch the leads, you'll hear a noise, and I think it lights up also. So after connecting one of your connectors to the ESC, you're gonna want to place one lead over here on the bullet connector that we worked on, and then the other lead somewhere on this side where it's not touching the the connector that we installed, but it's only touching the other one from the motor.
All right. You might have to repeat that because I'm still trying to solder these wires.
Okay.
This last one's not wanting to stay in.
I don't have a multimeter. Is there a way I could test it out without? I'm kidding.
We're gonna assume it's good then, I think, because if it's not good, we're gonna find out at a later date when we're trying to spin the motors before taking off, right? Like a operational check.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had one. I just can't seem to find it. Okay. What's next?
I think that's gonna be it for today because I just noticed that I'm missing my wires for the camera transmitter, and I think you might have the same problem, Armand. Because you know how we didn't get the full kit because there was an error.
Okay. So what do we have to do?
We're gonna have to custom fabricate something, but I haven't worked on that. So we're pretty much gonna have to like hardwire our end while Solomon just plugs stuff in.
Wait, what wire is it that you're missing? Are you talking about this thing?
Not
came-
that.
It
So
came with this. I don't know what it is though.
I didn't know I was missing a wire.
actually, this is the transmitter, right? That we got.
Yeah.
Well, I connected the antenna to it. This is the other one that's functioning. We're missing this wire right here.
Okay. Solomon's not missing that?
Yeah, why am I not missing it?
I'm assuming he's not missing it because he got the full package. he got twice the right? Because it was supposed to be a 2-pack.
No, that's a wolf. Well, that's a wolf.
Oh yeah, I did get a 2-pack, but
I think you talked. Wait. Thank you everyone for showing up. Part 2. See you guys next time.
yeah, thank you.
Stop the recording.
Hello everyone.
Go ahead.
Welcome back to the third part of building the drone series out. And Jesus, I guess, can say where we left off at.
So we had just finished with our ESC, and we installed the bullet connectors on there. So this side is all done. What we're gonna do right now is connect our little camera, our first person view camera, FPV, to the transmitter. This will so this camera is the one that you put on your drone, and it's the one that feeds you live footage of where your drone is going to be at. And this is the transmitter. This sends whatever the camera captures, and it sends the signal back to your goggles if you have a goggle setup, or your screen. I think we're gonna have screens, like mini screens. So actually Armand just he just separated his wires. He has this cable, and they were connected. So what he did was he just pulled them apart. This is not the wire. This is an example one that I already had made. But actually mine didn't come with one, so I'm gonna have to make my own wires.
Just something to add. There's 5 different wires, and you have to separate the 7 to 24 volt one and the ground one after you connect the end to the transmitter. And those wires would be red and black. And the other set would be 3 different wires: black, white, and yellow. If you have the wolf wrap part.
So yeah, Armand's talking about this. There's a 7 input voltage right there, the ground. Those wires, we're gonna wire them up to the positive and the negative of the ESC so we could get their voltage from the battery. And then the red, black, and yellow wires, they're gonna go to the camera. Since these are already just like that, we're going to solder those straight in. So Solomon, you have the same wire that Armand has, right?
Which one is that?
So
it was this one, right?
Yes, something like that, and it plugs in right here.
Yeah.
Great. So maybe I'll guide you through that one while I work on my own, make my own wire harness. What you have to do is, I think it helps to plug it in. Just go ahead and plug that one in there.
All right.
And you're gonna have those black, red, and yellow wire, specifically the ones on this side, right?
Yeah.
They're right next to each other. So follow them back to the connector and make sure they're right next to each other, because you have 2 red wires and you have 2 black wires. You don't want to get them confused. So the black, red, and the yellow wires that stem from the same side, you're gonna wire them up to this connector. So this actually, and this is just matching the colors. Yellow goes with yellow, black with black, and the red.
You don't have the red color.
Oh no!
Wait, red color on what?
Yeah, we don't have 2 reds.
No way.
So wait, it goes yellow, black, red, right? For you, for the caddy, for the FPV camera.
Yeah.
So what we have to connect is yellow, white, black. So the black goes with the red.
Hold on. Okay. Can you zoom in on, let me remove my spotlight, and can you zoom in? Yeah. On that wire.
So I have this.
Right.
Let me put it this way. Okay, can you see that now?
Yeah.
Wait. Shoot, never mind. I can read it, but you can't read it.
No, I can read it
It's
right
fine.
now.
I see it too.
Okay, the top is ground. Oh, the black is ground.
Yeah.
So you were holding it like this.
I was flipping it side to side, but
It's
just say
there's
the black.
2 black wires, and you align them to the 2 grounds.
I know, but I don't know which one's the ground on the caddy.
Is it? You have wait, so you don't have a black, red, and yellow cable on your caddy?
No, I have a black. Yeah, I have a black, red, yellow on my caddy.
Okay. Oh, hold on, Armand. There's a little bag in that container, and it has the separate connector.
Oh,
Go ahead and connect that in there.
okay, okay. Oh, and are we supposed to solder these together or no? Just tie them up, right?
So, yeah, you would connect that wire straight into this connector. It only goes in one way, so don't worry about putting it the wrong way. If you feel resistance, then just flip it around. So Solomon, you have this part, right? The camera with the connector and then the wires. Great. Okay.
My thing's not going in.
Oh, then flip it around.
I did. The yellow's supposed to go with yellow?
Just push
Yeah.
straight in, and it should snap in. It's a little hard.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's a little hard, but if you line it up and then just try and push it into place.
The way I'm able to. Yeah, I got it, but oh, okay, never mind. I got it. It's all good. Life is good.
Right. Okay, so now that you have this piece, do you see that these 3 wires will match up to the 3 wires on the other end, on the wire end, right?
No, the wire end from the transmitter.
Yeah.
It's yellow. Oh, shoot, yellow, white, and then black.
Does that sound correct, Solomon? Yours is the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not do colors instead. Or So
It's that there's 3 on the camera and then 5 wires on the antenna receiver.
The 3 wires we're working with actually.
right, so 3 of those are going to go into the camera. The other 2 are going to go to power. So let's focus on the camera ones first, I think.
Okay. Should I separate the 3?
Yeah, I think it would help.
Okay.
So yeah, Armand's talking about separating them like this, just because they're separate. You can maneuver them more easily, and solder them more easy.
On the camera? I separated them on the camera, just not the antenna.
Yeah, so the ones coming from the antenna, you could separate those 2.
Oh, I
Hey.
can separate them all individually?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not separating them like too much, but just a bit. Why are we soldering? Why can't we just like tie them together and put electrical tape?
I guess the solder kind of like make sure that it's not gonna come apart.
Okay.
We could tie them, but I mean, we could do the same thing that we did with the What did
No,
we do?
That's good. It's fine. I was just wondering. That
Okay.
makes. Shoot.
So I'm going to go based off of the transmitter, since that's the only thing in common we have right now than the camera. It looks like your middle cable should be
Audio.
and that's the white one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the white one you're gonna connect to the yellow one on your camera end.
Okay. The yellow one's in the side.
Yeah.
Okay. So yellow from the caddy goes into the white of the transmitter.
Right.
Okay.
Do you put solder on here, or is it just like this?
So what you could do is it's a different procedure for me since I don't have that connector. But what I'm gonna do is maybe put a little bit of that rosin on each end, and then maybe tie it. Or yeah, either that, or we could just just hold it like that and solder it down in like that.
What do you think we should do, in your professional opinion?
I think I'm just gonna try soldering it straight like that, just because for me it would be easier.
Okay. So just solder the 2 wires together after you put the resin on? Or you put the solder on and then you solder it?
Yeah. So with the tips, just dunk them into your rosin.
Yeah.
And the same with the other end, and then you're gonna place one end right here while you hold the other one on this end and solder it.
So white from the transmitter goes into yellow of the camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just double making sure. So we solder it now, or we just solder?
I'm gonna go for it once I get everything semi-ready. Here we go.
Jesus, are we putting solder on it or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, I need to turn this back on.
So what I'm gonna do is I already put some rosin on this end, on one end of the wire. So I'm gonna put a bit of rosin on there since it's gonna stick there. In theory, at least. There we go.
Yeah, it's good.
So I'm gonna be sticking the yellow one there. In your case, it's gonna be yellow with white, right?
Yeah. I got it.
But all my wires are gonna look red just because I only have red and black. So just don't mind that.
Shouldn't we be putting like the heat shrink?
You could use that. I think for this we could just use tape. It might be
Alright.
easier.
I guess I am since I already just started it, but
Right. So you're gonna have to do. So you did the yellow with the white one. So then you have the black and a red one, right? On the
Yeah.
FPV.
and it's the black one that. Hold on.
Black one's in the middle of the camera. And on the transmitter, the black one is the ground. Actually, no. Sorry, black one. Yeah, black one is the ground.
The ground that's on the very end.
They're both on the. Okay. Oh wait.
Black goes to black. Actually,
Because there's a ground next to the red wire. I think I'm just gonna keep those separate and then solder the other black wire to the black one on the camera.
yeah, the black one should be the ground next to the audio.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do we keep that?
So yeah, Armand had it right. So you could do the ground, which is on the end.
Yeah. Yeah, we got that part, but what does it connect to?
It would connect to the ground on your camera.
Yeah, it doesn't say. So which one's that? The black?
Yeah, that would be the black one.
So it's black to black.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I got the black ones together now.
Okay, and then you're gonna do with the red one that's next to that black one, you're gonna connect to. Oh wait.
The red
What-
It would be red on the caddy camera to the yellow one on the antenna? Or no? The yellow one on the antenna is for video.
Oh shoot.
Let's go with that. I had to double check. Maybe after the video.
Well, does the camera need any power? Because if we connect the yellow one, then what would be going into the camera would be ground, audio, and video, and then no power.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So what I think is that it distributes internally the voltage just because my other transmitter has 6 pins. This one only has 5 pins, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's doing.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go for that then. I'll do the red on the caddy and yellow on the antenna. See how it works.
Shoot. Okay, this is what I have. It's from the right side, red to yellow, black to black, and then yellow to white.
And then you have 2 remaining cables that are next to each other, right?
Yeah.
So those are going to be the power input.
All right, I think I got the 3 wires connected. And then we're gonna electrical tape all these separately.
Yeah.
We'll do those later. Can we do that later?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now let's go on to. So now you have 2 wires that are free, right? Let's go ahead and place those or try to solder them here. I don't know. Do you think that'll be too much of a challenge?
Where are they getting soldered at?
Into the ESC. One of them will go right here to this positive one, and that
Oh,
little ball.
we're putting it like right on top of where
Yep.
the solder is right now.
Yep. So since there's already solder there, all you have to do is place it on top and hit it with the iron, and it should melt right in.
Okay.
Is that how it's supposed to be?
It's a workaround. I mean, voltage-wise, it's correct, but I mean, it's not ideal, right? It's not clean, but you know,
Do I remove the plastic? I've been removing plastics.
on the ESC.
Yeah, on all of them except this one.
You don't have to. Yeah, I'd say leave it on there if you can.
Okay, were we supposed to solder what into what? Oh, the two wires into which the UEC?
The ESC. So you have the red one, which is going to be your positive. You're going to solder that into this red positive one, that blob. And
Oh,
once you finish that, the negative one goes on that black ground side.
All right.
which one's the black? Is it the one that says ground or is it covered up?
You're talking about the.
Oh, never mind. I think I can figure this out.
Okay.
We don't need to add more solder, right? Or we should be good.
Yeah, I don't think you have to, but I mean, if you feel like you have to, go ahead and add some more.
All right, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, it's not working. I mean, if it's still metal, can I add solder on top of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I struggle too. I'm gonna do the same.
I think it's because it's pretty good solder or something.
I'm gonna turn the heat up on the solder iron.
So be careful with the ESC. You don't want to connect any of the two connections together. If you do, you have to go ahead and melt the solder to break the connection again,
Okay.
which is what I just did, by the way. So I'm struggling with that right now. Oh, in fact, one of my wires fell out. Ugh.
Is it okay if it touches, like the board, something? It should be fine.
Yeah, as long as it's not something metal that it can short circuit.
All right, I got mine connected.
Oh shit.
But you guys are ahead of me because I still haven't been able to get it.
I'm giving it a tug and it's not coming out, so I think I'm good.
Nice.
My dad turned off the light when I was soldering. Oh, okay. I mean, it should be fine.
Have you guys ever seen those like repair shop videos on YouTube? We should have got like a giant microscope for one of our purchases. You just put all this under a microscope, connect it to Zoom, start showing it off.
Yeah. Would have been good. Well, I got both of these on there, and after struggling and disconnecting other wires and reconnecting them again, I think it's good.
My ground wire is touching the block that's right behind it.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Try to take it off if you can. I'm not sure what's behind it.
Yeah, I don't think I can. Yeah, I'll probably just make it worse. Shit.
All right. We could test it out like that. But I think that should be it. If anything, just you just use the electrical tape to cover up your connections.
I forgot I was supposed to do that.
So, for example, you have
Let me get some out.
these connections, and you don't want them to touch any short circuit. So you would wrap electrical tape around each of these.
If something short circuited, would we know automatically?
Yeah, you'd either have smoke or something not working.
All right, fellas, I gotta run. Have fun finishing up your drones.
All right.
Here,
Peace.
Thanks for coming. Hopefully you were able to learn something from this.
It's actually kind of motivational for me to get like all this stuff and set it up eventually. It's pretty cool that you guys can just build a drone from scratch. It's pretty badass. All right, see ya.
All right.
the only things I see, Jesus, are the 3 wires that we connected to the camera.
Yeah, so you'd put electrical tape over those connections. So for example, this was the other one, my previous one that I did. So electrical tape around each connection. And this is the current one that I'm working, but I have extra steps.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to solder these straight into here. Since my transmitter didn't come with the connector.
All right, I think I got everything up to this step ready.
Okay. But I think that's about all the wiring we can do for right now
All right.
until we get the flight controller.
Oh, I'm just worried about this thing right here. Can I send a picture of it?
Yeah,
Debug it. Do you think you can see if it'll be all right?
yeah. All right, but yeah, I think we could call this session.
Yeah.
And continue next time.
I'm
All right.
dragging.
Well, thank you all for coming back to part 3. We'll continue this on a later date.